Alright guys, I want to do a quick video about each and every fight and just a little insight to what I'm thinking on the other fights on the card, even though we don't have official bets on them. So first up we have Evan Dunham versus Herbert Burns. Okay, so right off the bat, I think the value here is on Evan Dunham at plus 190. I personally wouldn't bet Herbert Burns at minus 230. There's still a lot of questions for me on Herbert Burns. Yes, the first round is probably going to be all Herbert, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's sort of, I said it in a tweet, but if Evan Denham gets out of the first round, I think his chances go way up of winning this fight. I know durability is a big concern to most people. So with that in mind, with the minus 230 money line, if you like Herbert Burns, I don't think there's any value in that. I think if you can get an inside the distance prop, let me quickly take a look. Burns inside the distance is minus 125. So if you like Burns here, I'd probably play that at minus 125, or I'd play Burns in round one at plus 210. I think that's the path to victory for Herbert Burns here, because when you actually look at the fighters, you take away the durability concern from Dunham, and I just think he's the better fighter. Dunham by far is the better fighter. He's got better defensive wrestling. So if Herbert comes in with a game plan, he needs to take this guy down. I don't necessarily think it's going to be easy for Herbert to get him down. I do believe he's got better striking. Herbert Burns, technique-wise, he's pretty good, but I don't think he's got volume. I don't think he's got power. And cardio is definitely on the side of Evan Dunham. I think that's the biggest margin by far for both fighters. Evan Dunham's cardio, Evan Dunham's will to win. If his body isn't stopping him in this fight, and Herbert Burns isn't going to attack that body, I just think as the fight progresses, it's going to get a lot tougher for Herbert Burns to win this fight. But like I said, it's all about getting out of the first round for Evan Dunham. Durability is a big concern. 2-year break for Evan Dunham. And if you're looking to bet Evan Dunham and you want a little better price tag than the plus 190, I know I'm saying that is the value side here, but I think the more likely possibility to get at a better price is probably Dunham by decision. Right now, Dunham by decision, you can get... Dunham by decision is plus 285. It opened at plus 400. That was extreme value in my opinion. But right now you can get plus 285. I don't think he finishes Herbert inside the distance. If he does, it's probably going to be like late in the third round. So yeah, I think that's where you have to go. I think for my official pick, I'm probably going to say Evan Dunham by unanimous decision. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm ruling out Herbert Burns can't take this guy out in round one. That is a very likely possibility. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with the better fighter here, and I think the line is a bit wide. If he goes in there and takes him out in round one, everyone's gonna say the line was justified. But I mean, I'm well aware that in round one, Evan Dunham might look. It might be the time to take out Evan Dunham in round one. It could look easy for Herbert Burns, but overall, I don't see it. I think the value and my pick is Evan Dunham here for the first fight of the night. As far as fight doesn't go to decision and the under total rounds prop, fight doesn't go to decision is minus 180. Like I said, I don't think realistically Dunham finishing Burns is a very high likelihood of happening. So I don't think there's any value in minus 180. Under 2.5 rounds, I mean, I would think it's Herbert Burns inside the distance. You get a better price at minus 135 on the under 2.5. So, yeah, better ways to attack the fight than the under, and fight doesn't go to decision or does go to decision. So, yeah, that's just my take. And Alonzo Menefield, Devin Clark, I already have a video out on that. Go ahead and check my YouTube or scroll through my Twitter, and you can get the link to that video. I already posted my thoughts on that. Okay, Alex Perez versus Juicier Formiga. Alex Perez is minus 130. Formiga is plus 120. Now, I can't even really tell if I have too much respect for Juicier Formiga. I bet him in his last fight. We had a 3-leg parlay back in March against Brandon Moreno. He was the only leg that lost. I believe we had like plus 200 for the 3 legs. Moicano, Formiga, and I forgot who else on that March card in Brasilia right before this whole COVID thing broke out. But I can't even really tell at this point, is it I'm respecting Formiga too much and his better days have already passed, and I'm just continuing to have that image of him beating Davison Figueiredo, the would-be champ right now if he made weight against Joseph Benavidez. I just think Alex, and at the same time, I do think Alex Perez is a little bit overrated here. His striking is slow, predictable. It's all he's got really is loopy hooks and some pressure. But I think Formiga's shots, his takedown attempts are excellent. And I know a lot of people talk about Alex Perez and his wrestling defense and all his wrestling accolades, but I think Formiga doesn't even really need a takedown here. Formiga is one of the best back takers in the UFC. So he doesn't necessarily need to get Alex Perez down to take his back. He can take his back and drag him down from there. Yeah, I just don't fully believe in Alex Perez as a fighter. I don't think he's got a good skill set, don't get me wrong. He's a huge 125-pounder, but I don't know, it's just kind of a weird fight to me. I think for my official pick, I'm going to go with Formiga at plus 120. But I probably want a wider line to play Formiga here. But as far as if you were to play Formiga, I think maybe it is going to be tough for him to win rounds. But I think the best way to attack a Formiga play is if you like Formiga in this fight, is probably Formiga wins by submission at plus 565. Yeah, if you want to throw a little half unit or 0.33 units on the submission at 565, I wouldn't hate that at all. I think that's probably his most likely path to victory. And if you like Alex Perez, I think minus 130 is good enough if you like him here to just take that. I could see a TKO maybe. But like I said, I think you probably would just want to go with a money line at minus 130. As far as the fight doesn't go to decision and under 2.5 rounds, I think the under 2.5 round is probably approaching a little bit of value at plus 174 under 2.5. Because like I said, Formiga submission would not be shocked. Perez KO would not be shocked. So smaller cage, these guys are moving around so fast. Alex Perez is probably going to bring a ton of pressure, like I said. So I think the under 2.5 is probably moving into value range at plus 174. The fight doesn't go to distance. If you want an extra 2.5 minutes, what I don't think you're going to need here, is plus 145. I'd probably go with the under 2.5 here. I do like the look of that play, so probably play that small. And yeah, moving on. I have a play on Charles Byrd and Pitolo, so I'll skip that one. You guys don't get that. Next fight, Bryan Kelleher versus Cody Stamen. Okay, so initially I went into this thinking, man, this is going to be a max play on Cody Stamen. Kelleher landed one punch in his last fight, and he was losing the whole fight up until 5 seconds of the fight at the end there against Hunter Azure. Again, busted our parlay. The one leg that lost in our parlay, so yeah, but after taping it, man, it's just like, yes, Kelleher hasn't really faced a primary grappler like Cody Stamen, as good a wrestler as Cody Stamen, but I don't know, I feel like it's tough to bet Cody Stamen here in this spot. I believe he's coming off of knee surgery or something like that, some kind of surgery, but overall I do think Stamen is the better fighter, and there's no question about that. Kelleher is one of these tough, gritty dudes where all he needs is one punch sometimes and he changes the fight around. I'm not so certain that Cody Stamen isn't going to be huffing and puffing getting towards round 3 and at the end of round 2 like Hunter Azure was. I mean, I can't say that for a fact. So yeah, this is just a weird fight to me. Like I said, initially I wanted to bet Stamen here, probably pretty big, but after reviewing the tape and looking at it a little bit further, it is minus 225 for Cody Stamen right now, plus 205 for Kelleher. So maybe Kelleher is getting a bit too much love, but I like Stamen here, and I think there's better ways to attack this fight for Stamen. I think the most likely path to victory for Stamen is a decision here over 3 rounds. You can get that at minus 135. So if you like Stamen, take the minus 135 on decision. And if you like Kelleher, I think Kelleher is going to have to get this done inside the distance and put away Cody Stamen. Now, Cody Stamen hasn't been finished by anyone besides Aljamain Sterling in that weird fucking... I don't even know what to call that. He had his back. It's like an ankle lock from his back. I don't even know. But if Kelleher is going to get this done, I believe it's going to have to be inside the distance. Submissions at plus 460, KOs at plus 880. Probably submission more likely. Stamen's getting a little tired towards the end, or Kelleher does hurt him on the feet. He's probably going to dive into a takedown, and he's going to dive right into the guillotine of Kelleher. So, yeah, Kelleher inside the distance is plus 325. Probably most likely via submission. I thought that versus Azure. I say that submission is probably the most likely path for Kelleher, but I said that with Hunter Azure last month, so it's just like maybe you just want to go with inside the distance here. So yeah, but my pick to win is going to be Cody Stamen for sure, but at minus 225 I don't think you can do it. I think you have to play the minus 135 decision line. As far as fight doesn't go to decision, plus 170. I think Kelleher is probably the only one who can win inside the distance. I don't think there's enough value at minus 215. Fight goes to decision, under 2.5, over. Don't really like. So moving on, Ian Heinisch versus Gerald Meerschaert. I tweeted about that. I might end up having a play here, not straight play money line, obviously. Probably attacking from a different way. So stay tuned for that, subscribers. I might have an official play on this one. But yeah, it's just a weird fight, dude. Another weird fight where I taped this fight for 2 hours, man. I was going back to Thiago Santos versus Gerald Meerschaert. I was going back to Ian Heinisch and his LFA fights. And I really have no idea what the approach is going to be from either guy. Is Gerald going to want to keep this upright? Is Gerald going to want to take him down? Is Ian want to... Same thing for Ian. Is he going to want to take Gerald down? Is he going to want to keep this upright standing on the feet? It's just a weird fight, man. Smaller cage. I think smaller cage could have an effect on this fight. But yeah, it's just a weird fight. I really don't know I don't know what to say about this fight. I kind of do expect it to be chaos because on the ground, Gerald Meerschaert, I think, is live for a submission here. And on the feet, I think both guys are live for a knockout here. So yeah, I mean, I don't have too much analysis on the fight. It's at a near pick'em. I think that's rightly so, and that's justified. I mean, it's a coin flip type of fight, so if you want to take the plus 115 on Gerald, you probably do that. Like I said, I think inside the distance for both guys here is probably the best value you can get. Meerschaert inside the distance plus 280. Heinisch inside the distance plus 455. Maybe you can get Heinisch by decision plus 140. But yeah, I think this is going to be a crazy fight. I don't know what to expect, but I do expect fireworks, so yeah. Chase Hooper versus Alex Caceres. I've already posted a video on this fight. Not sold on Chase Hooper at all. But that's not to say you can go in here round one and just obliterate Caceres and get the submission, but not sold on his offensive grappling. I said it in the Tamer fight. I'm saying it again this week. I expect another crazy fight here. I expect Hooper to get destroyed on the feet if he can't get the takedown, and Hooper will probably get a ground and pound victory or a submission if he gets to the ground more than once. So yeah, and the Eddie Wineland Sean O'Malley fight, there's another potential play I'm eyeing. Now Sean O'Malley, by the way, is minus 500 right now. Eddie Wineland's plus 435. And it's crazy to see that line now because on Bet Online, when they first opened this fight, it was minus 155 for Sean O'Malley. And I've never really honestly had a good read on Sean O'Malley. And I'm kicking myself for not playing minus 155 because Bet Online actually they don't really cancel a lot of bets, so I could have hit that minus 155 for the max, which is probably to win 250, and it would have been up. I would have had that bet right now, and that would have been a great play as far as value is concerned, obviously because he's minus 500 right now. But yeah, kicking myself for not hitting that line. But anyways, Sean O'Malley said all week that Eddie Wineland's the perfect guy to get this highlight reel knockout off of. And I truly believe that as well. I think Eddie Wineland is a guy who's going to go in there, bite on his mouthpiece, and just fire. His last 2 fights, he's done that. I believe it was against John Dodson, to where after the fight, post-fight, he was pissed off. I believe his words, I don't know, don't quote me on his exact words, but he was kicking himself for being way too passive, way too hesitant in there. And then it kind of showed. I really believe those words because in his next 2 fights, he's gone out there right away, taking the center of the octagon and just thrown. His last fight, he did that versus Popov. And the previous fight before that, he just unlimited pressure and yeah, he just went down and bit on its mouthpiece and just went forward. So I truly believe Sean O'Malley can get a KO. He said going backwards or going forwards. Truly believe that. Eddie Wineland hands down most of the time and chin straight up in the air. He's always had that problem throughout his whole career. There's a potential official play here that I've been eyeing. So yeah, stay tuned. But I don't think Eddie Wineland's the guy to derail this hype train. Going forward, I'll be looking to play against Sean O'Malley at plus money for sure. But right now, it is a step up, but I don't think matchup-wise it's a cause for concern for Sean O'Malley in this fight versus Eddie Wineland. So the pick is Sean O'Malley for sure. You can't bet the minus 500. If you like Sean O'Malley, just play the inside the distance. If you like Wineland, I think his only shot is to get a weird fucking KO early on. So yeah, play inside the distance for O'Malley. KO, TKO is minus 105. O'Malley wins inside the distance, minus 140. You probably should go with that. And Wineland is probably going to need a KO here if he wants to get the upset. So yeah, moving on. Neil Magny versus Anthony Martin. Again, I tweeted my thoughts on this fight yesterday. Initially thought the value was probably going to be Martin, and I was looking at a possible bet for Martin, but just going over it, I just think the physicality, the strength, the size of Magny in a smaller cage is probably going to be a little bit too much for Martin. I'm not even really sure Martin's the better striker here. And as far as the low kick goes, I mean, Martin does have an excellent low kick. It's a great low kick, don't get me wrong, but after Magny got single-handedly destroyed by Ponzinibbio's leg kick, in the next fight against Leach, I saw some adjustments made to the low kick. He was bouncing on his feet. He was in and out, and he was well aware of the low kick. So I don't think a low kick is gonna change this fight like Ponzinibbio changed the fight with Magny. I think if that's what Martin's banking on, I think he's in for a big surprise. I think Magny's going to push him up against this cage, and he's just going to physically dominate him. Martin's a former 155er, and I haven't really seen him go against a clinch fighter like Magny. Magny's so much bigger, so much stronger, so I think it's going to be a tough time for Martin. But if he gets off on that low kick consistently, what I don't think it's going to happen. But if he does get off on that low kick consistently, I just think that's just going to force Magny to clinch up even more and have more sense of urgency on closing the distance. Martin's hands aren't as scary as Ponzinibbio was. Martin doesn't fight with the same kind of pressure Ponzinibbio does, so it's a completely different fight. To compare the fight just based off a low kick from Martin and Ponzinibbio is way off in my opinion. Completely different guys. Martin has a low kick, but at the same time, they're completely different fighters. And I think, yeah, I was possibly looking at a Magny play here, and the line just keeps going down. So, and minus 120 for Magny right now, so that's another one I have my eye on. So yeah, I think the best bet here is Neil Magny. If you like Magny. Okay, that last video cut off. What I was going to say is, if you like Neil Magny, I think the money line is fine. You get minus 120 right now. If you like Martin, the money line as well. He's still an underdog at the plus 110 numbers. So I think both of those are fine. As far as under 2.5, over 2.5, I think most likely both win by decision. So if you want to spicing up your bet a little bit, you could probably bet Martin by decision if you like Martin by decision, or Magny by decision. And fight doesn't go to decision, like I said, I think you're probably getting some value at the minus 195 if it does go to decision. I just can't really see either side finishing. I think if a side was going to finish, it's going to be Martin, probably by submission or a TKO. Magny, I don't think is very likely to finish there. So those are my thoughts on that fight, and we'll continue with Sandhagen versus Sterling now. I just respect both these guys so much in the Sterling Sandhagen fight, to where it's just, after taping, too close to call, and a fight I just want to sit back and watch. The fact that Calvillo and I are headlining next week and this fight is in 5 rounds is so disgusting to me. So yeah, I respect both these guys. Corey Sandhagen, if he can fight off the wrestling, is probably going to look like money here at minus 102. But Sterling, I think, with the smaller cage, probably most likely benefits him for sure with his wrestling and his grappling. But yeah, this is just a fight I want to sit back and watch and enjoy, man. This is two of the best guys in the division, with Cejudo retiring and Aldo and Peter Yan fighting. These are arguably the guys that should be fighting for the title. So I'm just going to sit back and watch this fight and just enjoy. And main event, short and sweet again. It's going to be a wash, man. I'll probably get into it a little deeper. I think I want to do a video alone on the main event. I know I said it's short and sweet, but there's more things I can break down in that fight that I probably will. But Nunes is a pick. You probably can't play at minus 525. You're going to play Nunes, play inside the distance. Spencer, just play plus 450, I guess. Maybe she shocks the world with an inside the distance, but I don't see her winning the decision here. I think Nunes is going to put it on her early, and if she survives like she did Cyborg, that would be very surprising. But yeah, Nunes is a play. Nunes inside the distance or by KO is probably the best way to attack that. So yeah, let me go over the picks real quick. The pick for Evan Dunham, Herbert Burns, is going to be Dunham. Devin Clark, Menefield. I'll go with Menefield, but you can't bet Menefield at minus 220 there. Like I said, I already have a video on that one. Formiga is the pick at plus 120. Most likely by submission. Bird, Patolo have a bet. Stamen, Kelleher, the pick is Stamen. Can't bet the minus 225. Go with the decision instead. Gerald Mearshart, Ian Heinisch. Oh my god, I don't even know what to give you guys there. I guess I'll go with Ian Heinisch. Minus 125. Caceres, Hooper. I'm going to have to say Caceres, man. I don't believe in Hooper. But yeah, like I said, there's plenty of ways you can attack this fight if you like Hooper, but I think Caceres is a value side for sure. Sean O'Malley is the pick. Go with inside the distance for Sean O'Malley, or Sean O'Malley in round 1. Neil Magny Martin. Magny's a pick, most likely by decision. Sandhagen Sterling, no pick. Love this fight. Sunset Garbrandt, can't give you that. Nunes Spencer, Nunes inside the distance. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys Saturday, tomorrow.